How are you feeling? Feeling good?
I have this sweaty palm thing that happens.
Okay. Okay.
Because I have a thing against, not against, but I don't like the focus being on me, which is mostly why I've never really pushed myself to be in the spotlight with music. So.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable. Well, this is a Dad Presents video, and I've been going around and interviewing songwriters and talking about stigma. When I say that stigma, what does that mean to you? What comes to your brain?
When I hear stigma, it's kind of like what the status quo would think something means, or what's like understood across the board and taken along with the bandwagon of how you should understand something, whether it be good or bad. But to me, it gives me a closed-in negative feeling about mental health. Almost like a scared, like, oh no, I could catch that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think we fear what we don't understand, and so like you see some kind of behavior or something going on, even in yourself, and don't know how to communicate that to someone else in a way that doesn't throw up that wall of prejudgment of the situation before you even get into it. It is weird. For me, it's just like this invisible force that can hold you back from, or like mask how you see a situation. If you go into a situation thinking it's going to be one way, you know, a lot of times, in my experience, I can make it that way. Not with that attitude. That was the phrase that would always come to mind. A sarcastic response, but a really right-on advice or feedback. So stigma, an icky, closed-off feeling. Did you use the word icky? I don't think you did.
No, I didn't say icky.
Yeah.
No.
That's not a word that people say often in conversation. But it is icky. That's a kind of a weird word for it.
Degrading comes to mind, I guess.
Less than.
Yeah.
It's funny is like we all have these like mental cognitive distortions about how life is and like how it should be, and yeah, I think stigma says you should act this way, but what was I saying right before I said that?
Stigma, you should act this way. Before that?
Right before that, yeah, it was right before that.
Oh gosh, short-term memory.
Maybe I'm too exhausted to have conversations. All right, well, how do you, so we all have brains, right? We all put things in our brains. How do you check your levels or maintain balance in your brain to hopefully have a happy day?
I try and get out of it as much as possible. Get out of the brain. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not dwell on things too much or get that hamster wheel tape recording going too long.
Does that hamster wheel come with what if?
Yeah, I mean...
What if? What
if in the past or future, which can contribute towards anxiety and depression. And I find that breath really helps bring back to center.
What does that look like?
What do you mean?
How do you use breath to center yourself?
I guess just focusing on it and noticing whether it's shallow or sped up, like just kind of.
So being aware.
Yeah.
So like kind of checking in on your breath. Hey, am I breathing fast, or am I calm thinking this, or am I like anxious thinking this? That's all right. So awareness in the moment. What happens when it's not in a place that you want it to be? Like what do you do to bring balance back, or bring yourself back to homeostasis? There's
a few methods that I've picked up that I like to go back to check in. There's and might sound really weird, but I do this. And there's one called the alternate nostril method, because apparently from going to massage school, I learned like this technique where you breathe in cold and breathe out hot air, and it alternates. So sometimes it can get a little bit like confused or whatever. So if I focus on like breathing in through one nostril and breathing out and then doing the opposite, I feel like it's kind of like a reset.
You feel like you're switching like the side of the brain that you're using? Does that connect? Like
kind of.
I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works either. But it's forcing you to switch your attention back
right.
and forth.
It's more like your attention to it. And that was a long time ago. There was some psychosomatic something that goes along with the temperature and how you regulate, your breathing, that affects your body. But that's one thing, which I explained very terribly. But
I got the beginning of it, yeah.
Just because in yoga we would do this one where there's like a mudra, and you'd breathe in through one nostril, then you hold it and breathe out through the other nostril. And after a while you feel like there's more blood flow in your brain, actually. So that's one thing. If I'm doing work or busy or feeling like I'm flustered, I'll just do it, checking in. And then the other one is if it's shallow breathing in to your stomach. Because as kids, that comes natural. But as we grow up, we do mostly the breathing in our chest, and then tend to incorporate our accessory muscles, which are in our neck, and that can cause a lot more neck pain and just, I guess, stress. So that's another one. And sometimes when it's really tough and I'm like, oh, my heart hurts, I'll breathe like focused on my heart.
Like your physical heart hurt, not like your emotional heart.
I guess it's both.
Is it both?
Yeah, emotional body and emotional heart body, I guess, and heart.
Alright, yeah. I guess there's a reason why we do that little heart thing. I'm not sure exactly that, but you know what I'm saying.
And I guess these are techniques that I've picked up because I wasn't raised in a family where we'd go to the doctor for every little thing. It was very much like self-sufficient, and if you're getting sick, like take some echinacea and golden seal, which it's kind of like a good and bad thing, because it took me a long time eventually when I did need talk therapy to actually accept, like, okay, like there's nothing wrong with that. But
yeah, there isn't. It's so expensive. Is that feedback? Do you hear that?
There's a tiny bit, but it's really low.
It's weird.
It's almost like a high
EQ.
Yeah, the high EQ.
I learned.
I'm just gonna go turn it.
Intermission. It's funny, in Jamaica, every time there's intermission, you Before every movie, they do the national anthem.
Yeah.
And then there's an intermission, like, in every movie. Like, they stop the movie and they're like, go get some popcorn or whatever. Huh?
Where?
In Jamaica.
Oh, nice. I want to watch movies there. There's another place that does that too, where they like stop the movie in the middle of the movie and they're like, turn the lights on, have an intermission. I wish they had done that for some of those X-Men ones.
Lord of the Rings.
Holding it for 3.5 hours.
That's why I eat all the popcorn, then pee in the popcorn bucket.
It's a lot easier for you than me.
They make the Lady Jane. I don't know if you
have one of those.
Which I'm kind of scarred for life because my mom had one in the glove box of a car.
Smart lady.
Oh yeah, no, she's smart. It's just
creeped you out.
I'm like, what is this, Mom?
Do you really want to know how you touched it?
Yeah. Okay, so take 2. You were talking about breathing, which was awesome. Did it do it again?
I haven't heard it.
I think you're hearing things.
No, it's very well. My body currently is like, it hates me because I am not sleeping right. I'm just kind of pushing up against.
It's like, remember me?
Yeah. Joseph and I just went and played in the creek. I guess we were gone for like 30 minutes. And it just feels so good. And I miss that. Like, I kept trying not to get dirty, but we kept like moving rocks in the creek, and I don't know. I need nature. I need my hands in dirt. I need to walk around without shoes on, really.
Oh yeah.
That's something I miss. I did that yesterday. I burned my burn pile, walking around, just bare feet in my backyard. It was long overdue. It was long overdue. I need more of that in my life. So you mentioned breathing that helps with your mind-body connection. It calms you. It de-escalates any kind of anxiety that's going on in the moment, or is it more of is it in the moment, or is it kind of a preemptive thing? You try to do it before it gets overwhelming.
Both. Yeah, I would say both.
Do you think if you did more preemptive stuff that, like, you wouldn't get overwhelmed on
Wouldn't freak
things?
out? Yeah. Yeah, there was a time when I was definitely more consistent with that. I think when I had less worries. I think one thing with growing, especially in the States, is they just add on top of each other to the point where it is overwhelming, and you're like, if I actually take a break, I don't know. You know what I mean?
If I deal with this now, I'm not sure what's going to happen when I deal with this, so I'm just not. And then something else piles on top.
Yeah. It's like, I'd rather just focus on all the other outside things, I guess, because those are way more important.
Yeah. Distracting yourself to the point of, I get that, where you're like, I can't afford to break down right now. Like, me personally, like, I can't break down right now. I can, and it might be helpful to like unplug and for a day or two, check myself in if I had to. But like, I see that with a lot of people, and there's a stigma. It's like, if I break down, then I'm not going to get back what I had, or I'm not going to get back to where I am, which now that I'm saying it out loud, it sounds silly.
Or that you'd lose the respect of everyone that's like looking up to you for what you're doing, or continuing, I don't know. Or inability to hold it together, I guess.
And it's a weird catch-22 for me, because I want to be strong for others, but at the same time, what a role model, what self-care looks like. And so I was like, well, which is it? Yeah, I think, and there's a balance. You could do both. There's a time for everything. I always say seasons in my head whenever like I start judging myself for not writing enough songs or not exercising enough, or these are actually things I need to be doing every day for my mental wellness. But you know, it's okay to go periods of time without doing things. Like songwriting or I don't know, and I don't have to be good at everything that I think I should be good at. That fear of judgment, though, that's what gets me. Like, if I break down, why am I afraid of what people think? That's it's just something in me that won't let me get over that, or like accept the fact that it really doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
Well, I've always been known as the sensitive one in my family.
Okay.
So, and I think a part of me has always been like irritated with that. Like, no, I'm not. Like, you know, I can not be as sensitive.
Resisting your nature?
I guess. But that's what also makes me a great massage therapist. Yeah.
Why didn't you want to be seen as sensitive?
Because it makes you vulnerable in the eyes of, from what I've seen from my siblings, which
And
definitely.
And then they're like stronger and better because they're not vulnerable?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I
What makes anyone better, I guess.
We're just different. That's the thing. We all the sneeches are always fun to think about, how we all like rush to be this one way, and then another fad comes along. We all rush to be this one way, another way, and you know, we're all the same. And we all have this pretty much the same types of struggles. Some people struggle with, you know, different things at different times. You know, like my brother doesn't suffer from depression like I do. But that doesn't make him better than me, or me better than him. You know, it's like we're just different people. And we experience life. It doesn't mean he doesn't get down or, you know, experience depressive like symptoms, because, you know, sadness and grief show themselves, and the stages of grief can last longer, and it doesn't have to be death. It could be anything that you're grieving. A way of life, an old t-shirt. I don't think I've ever felt that about a t-shirt, but this is me using humor to distract from being vulnerable. All right, well, I actually appreciate your sensitivity, and you've been able to be assertive with that kind of stuff in our relationship, so I definitely appreciate that. And I actually see it as a superpower, which is like, that was something that I tapped into, I guess, a couple of years ago, or acknowledged, because I've always been really good at being vulnerable with strangers, and being able to just say the thing that, without any kind of pretense or wanting anything in return. Because I sat with at-risk youth a lot, like processing trauma and processing, you know, how their brains worked, and like helping them process accountability issues with, you know, some of their actions, and get into the root of why we behave certain ways and why we choose certain coping mechanisms over others. And then I started like talking like that out loud to the people around me, and I was feeling more alive and more connected to who I am. And that was that was like a really big turning point for me, is like harnessing that sensitivity and that willingness to explore uncomfortable areas and seeing what's around the corner from that, because that's what, honestly, that's what keeps me alive, is curiosity.
Oh yeah.
It's like, because I get into that negative brain loop, and it's just like, what's the point? And it happens too much, especially when I'm stressed or overwhelmed. My brain just goes, really? What's the point? Like, you'll be alright. We're all just specks and dust and flash of light in the universe, and we're really insignificant. But that's just where my brain is, because none of that's remotely true. It's fascinating. It's definitely entertaining to watch life unfold, and it's those uncomfortable moments for me that of just outside your comfort zone, whether it's in your own perception of yourself, going, am I able to do this? Am I worth this? Am I worthy of this endeavor? I don't know. That was a lot of talking about me. Thank you very much. But in all of that to say that, like, I hope you're able to see it as a superpower as well. Like, say, this is one of my strengths. It's not everybody has this. Not everybody can feel as deeply. And that's, I kind of feel bad for other people. You're like, oh, yeah. And it's doesn't mean I'm better. It's just, that's my superpower. Somebody else has something that they're really good at, and if they align themselves with who they are, then they will find that. Because no one can show it to you, and you can have more than one too. So don't think it's your only superpower. You're not like Catwoman or anything. I guess Wonder Woman has all the superpowers, doesn't she?
I haven't been able to get through the first 10 minutes of that movie.
You're not a superhero? I'm using all of these superhero metaphors and nothing? Okay, that's cool.
Humble, sorry. We're all just humans on the planet. I think that's actually one of the issues, especially with kids, is coming up with all these superheroes to like they should be more than they are, or that someone's going to come and save the day. I think that's an issue, honestly.
I like this.
Yeah.
That it's being processed to the point where we were going to rely on someone else to fix our problems.
Yeah, or that you can't just have like a very simple life and be happy without like drama or saving the day, or you know what I mean?
I can see how that looking at, I guess, when you're searching for your purpose in life, I really believe that all of us are like just really good at certain things, and that we're like innately born to, as a puzzle piece, fit into the rest of us. And some people do come in and save the day, but others, the fact that you get up and you take care of your family, and you do like a normal working, like, tactile job, you're using your hands, whatever, that's no less important. And so you're saying that these superhero myths are
it's Hollywood.
It is Hollywood. It's very entertaining. A lot of flashes. And
yeah, it's distracting. And I mean, I grew up with a mom that she didn't like me watching Disney or like any of that stuff, because it's unrealistic to think that everything ends with a happy ending, or you know what I mean? Like, that's the part of life, is being okay with the fact that you're gonna have a rough time, and it may be a long rough time. And I think instilling That's why I love watching like foreign films, because French films sometimes they end and you're like, what? You know what I mean? Or like Bollywood films and their weird love stories.
Lots of dancing.
Lots of dancing. I love it. Or, you know, Nigerian films, Nollywood films, and like what they go through. Like, I think that's one thing I do appreciate about my upbringing is more of like having the worldview of life and appreciation, as opposed to thinking the America's so great. Which can sometimes be a little bit, I think, debilitating, or like, you know.
Well, when it's used in like an us versus them,
yeah,
that's toxic, and but that's human nature for some reason. That like we can all, you know, unify if we have something to focus on outside of America. But I don't see anything wrong with saying America's great. Hey, and so is that place in Spain. I don't know anything about Spain really, but I'm sure it's great. I'm sure there's something really beautiful and awesome about it. Just like,
hey, bullfighting.
Bullfighting.
Yeah.
That's pretty bizarre.
Apparently they let a bull loose in the streets. I don't know if that's like something they celebrate or...
Running of the bulls? I know this from movies, probably. That's... well, we've successfully rambled a good bit. I like it. What would you say to someone watching one of these videos?
As far as any parameters, or what are you saying? Like,
I mean, yeah, just got a blank canvas here.
Well, if there's something that brought you to watch this video, then you're probably going through something, or just curious, and I would definitely say don't be so quick to judge, and live every day like it matters. Like, you're not just going through the humdrum of things or doing a transaction. Like, actually look someone in the eye and be like, hey, you know, we're all going through this, stay together. And that's what that one song is about. We're all going around the sun together.
Nice. You gonna play that one?
Is that the song that you were talking about?
I don't know. The I'm Not Helpless, you know? Is that
yeah.
That's a different song.
That song came out a lot of heartache. But I can do that one.
I would like it. But
okay.
You play whatever song you want to play. But before, in that you say, I'm not helpless, no, but I could use some help sometime or somehow, or what's the line?
I'm not helpless, but I can use some help somehow with you around. I feel like everything's going to work out.
Yeah. I like that. I actually like that as two parts. Just that, I just love that line of, I'm not helpless, but I could use some help. I mean, it's like, something about that line that like sticks out to me of like, I don't want to be judged as someone who can't do this. But it's cool if you want to help me do it. And it's like a togetherness instead of an us versus them, kind of bringing someone into that like mindset of we're doing this together. We can do this together. It doesn't have to be you watch me struggle.
Yeah, I think that was me coming to realization that it's okay to ask for help, like when you're going through things.
Soundbite. All right. Well, yeah. You don't have to play that one, but I'd love to hear a song.
Okay. Yeah. I can do that one. This is actually a song that I came up originally that was improv, and I named it Monday Evening because it was a Monday evening. And Mondays have always seemed to be my pamper days.
All right.
So, yeah.
That was good.
Like 10 people ate.
That was awesome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And look forward to hearing more songs.
Yeah, they'll be pouring out real soon.
Pouring out.